What did the panel think of Trump's stint as fry cooker at McDonald's? And it's, I already addressed this. It's like they see him differently.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant.
Yes.
I think when you have somebody who is a world famous superstar, who's a billionaire, et cetera, and they do something you don't expect, it's brilliant media. And I think we got to acknowledge that this guy is beating the pants off of us with these so-called publicity stunts. It gets into everybody's feeds, and people who are not looking at politics will look at that. I think we just have to have more fun ourselves. We were having a great time during the Democratic convention. If we have more fun, if the Democratic Party is a party of fun, people will join it. We should be doing crazy stuff too.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree with you.
She's a classy person, and the success she's had, the influence she's had is amazing. I just,
not your cup of tea.
Bill Maher brought Van Jones onto his show, and they talked about multiple different things. One of the main things that really set Bill Maher off being the Donald Trump and Joe Rogan podcast, where Bill Maher and Van Jones discuss it. Of course, you know what Van Jones, you know the side that he had to take on it. Bill Maher was forced to shut Van Jones down, the CNN analyst, because of how woke and ridiculous he is getting. And like I always say, it's bad when Bill Maher has to shut you down on Real Time with Bill Maher for how ridiculously woke you are getting. Let's get into this clip here where Bill Maher discusses the Joe Rogan and Donald Trump podcast and has to shut down his woke guest Van Jones about his take on it.
All right, for the panel, what does the panel think of Trump doing Joe Rogan's podcast today, and is it a mistake for Kamala not to do it?
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Yeah, I think it is a mistake. I think it's a mistake she didn't do this show.
Yeah, did you invite her? Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, we didn't invite her.
Of course she should.
We would have bumped you for her. I hate to say it. I hate to tell you. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, and there's still time, I hope, and I know she's going to be campaigning in Texas. I hope she does, the podcast. I think the more people see of Kamala Harris, the more they like her. She needs to get out there. I think some of that is a staff reticence that they had because of Joe.
Well, that's just a straight up lie. The more I see of Kamala Harris, the more I absolutely hate her. Like, she might, she makes me so angry. I can't even get my speech out, man. I just don't like people like her at all. I don't like her type. So it's one thing how bad it's going to be if she's the president for the country and for the globe. It's a whole nother thing to have to listen to Kamala Harris give presidential speeches and be all sassy and boss queeny. It's like, dude, oh my goodness. If there's going to be any president ever that sparks a revolution within the United States, it's not going to be some fascist Hitler type person. It's going to be someone like Kamala Harris that just pisses everybody off. Like, I would never participate in something like that, right? I would never do that. Of course, I wouldn't do that, right? Especially if it's somebody like a fascist takes over. I'm not going to go give my life for that, okay? I'm just not. That's my stance on it. Kamala Harris, though, makes me emotional enough and pisses me off, gets me angry enough to where it's like, it creeps into my mind. Like, hey, maybe I would, maybe there's a chance I would. So like I said, if somebody's going to spark a revolution, it's going to be someone like Kamala Harris, not someone like Hitler.
Joe Biden, which you couldn't put out there. We understand that. You can put her out there. She's terrific. She's likable. She's joyous. She's fun. She's clever. Get her out there.
Boy. For a guy who's not an official surrogate, you're on the waiting list. What did the panel think of Trump's stint as fry cooker at McDonald's? And it's, I already addressed this. It's like they see him differently.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant.
Yes.
I think when you have somebody who is a world famous superstar, who's a billionaire, et cetera, and they do something you don't expect, it's brilliant media. And I think we got to acknowledge that this guy is beating the pants off of us with these so-called publicity stunts. It gets into everybody's feeds, and people who are not looking at politics will look at that. I think we just have to have more fun ourselves. We were having a great time during the Democratic convention. If we have more fun, if the Democratic Party is a party of fun, people will join it. We should be doing crazy stuff too.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
And if I might add one more thing. It's like, don't immediately just go to, I hate him for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, which is what, but everybody I know here in Hollywood does that. And it's like, you're first of all, you look weak. You look weak. You look like you're so easily gotten.
Yes.
You know, you look like you overreact to anything. I think politics comes out of personality. I'm going to do something extensive on this one day, but personalities. Your personality first. I know people who are conservative politically because I know them. That's just who they are. They're squares. And that's okay. And there are people who just, like, they think Trump is fun like that. I don't get it, but I don't get Taylor Swift.
I think this is a lie, honestly. It's hard for me to believe that anyone doesn't find Donald Trump like a bit charming. Even if you don't like him and disagree with everything that comes out of his mouth, there's a ton of people out there who I disagree with a ton of the stuff that they say. I find it, cringy, their stances, but when it comes out of their mouth, it's charming. It's funny sometimes. Like Bill Maher is an example, actually. Like sometimes Bill Maher will make fun of Donald Trump. And it's like, obviously, I like Donald Trump. I hope he wins the next election. Sometimes Bill Maher will make fun of Donald Trump, but it's actually funny, the stuff that he says sometimes, and I laugh sometimes. I refuse to believe that somebody, even if you hate Trump and everything he stands for, that you don't think Donald Trump is charming a little bit. Like the guy is funny, and it's unintentionally a lot of the times, but I think the guy is pretty objectively just funny.
Not that I'm comparing them, but I'm just saying.
I bet you would have bumped me for Taylor Swift too.
What's this?
You would have bumped me for Taylor Swift.
In a New York.
I know where we stand.
Of course I would.
Everybody else is turning you down.
I'd bump Kamala for Taylor Swift. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree with you.
She's a classy person, and the success she's had, the influence she's had is amazing. I just,
Not your cup of tea.
Nikki.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Glazer was doing my podcast, and I was like, I don't get this, Nikki. You've been to 18 concerts. Tell me. And she's like, the music is so amazing. And she said, just watch the Eras tour. It's a 3-hour thing on Apple, I think. And okay, I did not move the needle at all. This is not great music to me, but that's just me. I don't get her music, and I don't think Trump's jokes about Arnold Palmer's dick are funny, but other people do. It's not relevant.
So for those of us who love Taylor Swift, and I'm a big Swiftie, that is some of the fun that Kamala Harris is bringing into politics. So I did a Swifties for Kamala kickoff in Nevada, where I was just campaigning for her. We got all this energy, exchanging friendship bracelets and having fun. So there's a
This sounds like the gayest thing I've ever heard in my life. What the hell? Who is this guy? This guy is not I don't like him at all.
A lot of joy there, Bill. And I'll give you a friendship bracelet, too.
This looks like Tim Walz's brother. It's not, though. It's somebody named Jared Polis, governor of Colorado. He looks just like Tim Walz's brother, same mannerisms, and that, like I said, it's probably the gayest thing I've ever heard.
Knock yourself out. I love all the joy and all the everything that, she does great stuff, but, I just don't get the music. All right. What are your thoughts on the Menendez brothers' potential being released on parole, and is it a positive sign?
I don't really care about the Menendez brothers, I'm going to be honest with you, but I did want to talk about the fact that they're saying that Kamala Harris should have gone on Joe Rogan. I mean, that just makes no sense. Kamala Harris is not making appearances in public right now. I mean, she's doing little rallies and stuff where she's bait and switching people, bringing Beyonce to her rallies, and then just not having Beyonce perform. And the only reason why people are even going into the venue is to see Beyonce perform. And a lot of people are very mad at her because she bait and switched them like that. But she's not making public appearances. She's not doing many interviews anymore. I think she just went on Shannon Sharp's podcast, probably a softball. They probably told him, you can ask these questions, can't ask these questions, whatever. She's not making public appearances for a reason, because every time she goes in public, people hate her more. Like I was saying earlier, I don't like a lot of people in politics, right wing and left wing. Kamala Harris gets a reaction out of me that not many people can get. And it's not an intentional one. She's not doing it on purpose. It's just the person that she is, the boss queen sassiness, moving her neck in a circle when she speaks. I just can't stand it, And Candace Owens is like, I make fun of her a lot for doing that. Even though I agree with Candace Owens a lot too, it's like she also has that personality where she's like moving her neck in a circle when she talks, blinking very quickly, like very sassy. It just pisses me off, man. I just don't like those kinds of people. Those mannerisms piss me off, man. Like, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. Kamala Harris has that to like the 10th degree. And every time she goes in public, I think her polls are just going down the drain. And that's why she's kind of in hiding now. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think about Bill Maher asking the tough questions to Van Jones and this other Jared Polis guy. Like I said, he looks just like Tim Walz, same mannerisms as Tim Walz and everything. Let me know in the comments, though, what you guys think about this episode of Real Time with Bill Maher.